Pablo Munoz here. Welcome to this in-depth review of the Wacom Cintiq 27-inch Pro. As a professional artist, I've been using Wacom products for a long time, so I was really excited to get my hands on this brand new device and show my thoughts and first impressions with you guys. So let's jump straight into it. The Wacom Cintiq 27-inch Pro is the latest addition to the Wacom family pen displays. It is a top-of-the-line drawing tablet and surely a new favorite among digital artists. With this new Cintiq, Wacom has improved and redesigned the product to bring back the express keys at the back, a beautiful large display with a super responsive touchscreen. So the first thing that you'll notice about the Cintiq is the large 27-inch display, which is the real standout feature of this tablet. It has a very sleek professional design and it looks great on the desk. The build quality is solid and it feels very premium. The new modern design is more compact and lightweight than the previous version, and this makes it a lot easier to move it around and set it up on your desk. The bezels around the display have also been slimmed down, giving you more screen real estate to work with, and if you use more than one monitor or displays, it also feels more integrated. The resolution is obviously top-notch with 4K display, and the colors are vibrant and accurate, so any high-res image that you put on the screen will look stunning. And it certainly provides a massive canvas to create art. I know a few amazing artists that still prefer tools like the Intuos Pro, but personally I find that having a larger screen area allows me to work more comfortably, and I can see more details and zooming into my projects without feeling cramped. The touchscreen, although it's not the main feature of the tablet, is also worth mentioning because it is super responsive. It almost feels like I'm manipulating something like an iPad Pro. The functionality of the touchscreen will obviously vary depending on the software, but I can rotate things in ZBrush very smoothly and also manipulate documents in Photoshop really easy. So this one for me is a massive improvement. Another cool thing about the display is that it covers 99% of the sRGB color space, which means that the colors that you see are very consistent and the display itself has been factory calibrated for color accuracy. Another thing that I do appreciate is that it has a 178-degree viewing angle, so you can see your screen clearly from almost any angle. This model has also better brightness and contrast ratio, which means that the images on the screen are clear and easy to see even in bright lighting conditions. To be honest, this is the type of spec details that I usually don't bother mentioning in a review like this because in most cases it's barely noticeable, but I want to mention it because I can actually see the difference. I have a large window next to my desk and I usually have the blinds down when I'm working, but with this new display I can definitely see things on the screen a lot clearer even when the blinds are up. So yeah, that's a big plus for me. One thing to mention though is that because I was used to the large bezels from the older model, I ended up with some greasy smudges on the side of the screen where my thumb was, but this is just a matter of getting used to the new hand placement or wearing a glove. One of my absolute favorite features are the express keys at the back of the device. This is how the express keys were in older models of the Cintiq. It is very comfortable and the grip has a very nice feel to it, but I'm not gonna lie, it takes a while to get used to the new position of the fingers, especially after relying heavily on an EK remote control from a previous models for so long. Fortunately, if you decide to stick with the EK remote, you can totally use it with the new Cintiq. All you have to do is take the Bluetooth adapter from the back of the old one, plug it into the new Cintiq, and that's it. It works perfectly fine. Now, in terms of how you can set up the Cintiq to stand on your desk, you can go for a very cool adjustable stand, which is way lighter and slimmer than the previous one, but I went with the Wacom Flex Arm. This is a game changer for me. I now have lots of space compared to the previous setup and it just looks nicer. This is an optional gadget obviously, but it allows you to adjust the angle and the tablet and just position it in any way that you want. I tend to work with the monitor almost on my lap when I'm sculpting or drawing, but when I'm doing admin tasks or writing a new outline for a new course, the Cintiq sits in the middle of the desk like any other display. So it is very comfortable to just pull or push the screen whenever I need to. One small piece of advice about the express keys at the back is to try holding the Cintiq in the most comfortable way for you, ignoring the placement of the keys. Once you get that right, it's a lot easier to figure out how to set up the keys and which fingers you would actually use. One of the things that surprised me the most is that once I set up the Cintiq, it fits exactly where my old Cintiq was. It has practically the same dimensions, but since the bezels are slimmer, there is a huge 27-inch screen instead of the previous 24 inches. And to be honest, having no extra visible buttons, connections, or anything else over the displays makes this a very sleek design and it does feel very premium. The new pen that comes with the Cintiq is also a huge improvement over the previous one. The new pen has 8,182 levels of pressure sensitivity. I wouldn't go as far as saying that I can notice a difference, but it just means that you can produce incredibly fine details and gradations on your work. And yes, you might not be able to feel the 8,000 levels of pressure, but certainly feels more responsive. Now, the pen itself feels very comfortable in the hand and it has a nice weight on it. In fact, if you don't like how the pen feels, you can now customize it to your liking. Not just changing the nibs, you can actually change the rubber around the buttons, you can also change the buttons themselves, even a little weight inside of the pen that you can adjust to balance it on the hand. This feature might be too subtle for most people, but given that this is a tool designed for professional artists, I do appreciate the level of customization. Another awesome thing that I'm sure you notice on my new setup is the extension table. This new Cintiq model comes with 4 holes, 2 at the top and 1 on each side, where you can attach anything with a 1/4-inch screw. So this would be perfect for a camera mount, maybe some lighting, or even just the pen holder that comes with the device. I decided to go for what is, in my opinion, the absolute best add-on for this model, which is the extension table. There isn't much to it, it's just a little stand, but it has a nice rubber surface to hold things in place, and it's really sturdy, so it is perfect for a small Bluetooth keyboard like the one that I have, or a sketchbook, or an iPad if you're having some references and that kind of thing. To sum up, the Wacom Cintiq 27-inch Pro is a fantastic piece of equipment. It is definitely a very pricey option, but for professionals and serious hobbyists, I think it is worth the investment. So as a professional digital artist, I think that this particular device has 5 big selling points that I'm going to share with you. 1, obviously the larger display that just looks awesome and with the same footprint on your desk as the previous models. 2, the brightness of the displays makes it easy to work in any lighting conditions, so now my room feels lighter without compromising visibility on what I'm doing. 3, the express keys on the back. Again, it takes time to adjust your workflow, especially if you're used to the EK remote, but definitely a massive improvement. Number 4 is the fact that everything on the screen just looks beautiful, and the precision of the pen when you interact with the screen is just top-notch. There's absolutely no lag and feels very, very natural. And finally, if you're like me and you interact with the position and angle of the display constantly, the weight of it is significantly less, so it is super comfortable, especially if you have the Flex Arm. I actually tried the Wacom stand during the launch event at PAX in Melbourne, and it's really good. The only limitation I found with it is that you cannot rotate the screen 90 degrees as before, and I just love working vertically sometimes when I'm creating full body characters, and the Flex Arm allows me to do that. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any comments or anything that you want to share with me, put them in the comments and I'll try to reply as soon as possible. And if you stick with me a little bit longer in this video, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks or hacks that you can do to enhance the setup of your brand new Cintiq. So thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Okay, so here are 3 extra bits and hacks. So the first one is that you can still match the touchscreen area to a different monitor. So I'm just gonna link to a video where I show you how to do that. You can still do it with the new Cintiq. Number 2 is that if the Cintiq is sitting vertically as a display, you might want to have something preventing the keyboard or anything else that you put on the extension table from falling. And what I did was just adding a tiny metallic clip glued to the back so that it sort of holds it in place. Number 3 is that there are 2 sets of express keys for each hand, right? So you can use the one on the other side to map other quick access like on-screen keyboards or switching between virtual desktops, that sort of thing. And finally, to wrap up, some annoying things that I would recommend you go ahead and fix straight away. The first one is that the express keys visual feedback might be on by default, and you need to turn it off from each application that you use. And this is just a matter of unticking a box to show the express keys. And another thing is that sometimes there are applications, like ZBrush in particular, that won't let you map the keys properly, and the only workaround is to reset the default settings on the Wacom Tablet Preference File utility. And this is just a window where you can go to your preference, remove them all, and then set them up again. And by the way, this is also how you can back up your settings and restore them from a file if you need to. Alright, that's about it. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.